Hey, good evening everybody, welcome back to Fat Man Paints. We are just wrapping up a couple of bits and pieces here tonight. I'm not sure I've got a lot of energy to do a late night session again, so we'll see where we go. First of all, I have varnished my Mawloc. I am just putting some gloss varnish in the mouth and around the eyes. Put a first coat on a bit earlier today, but I'm going to leave them a little bit, let that set, put another one on in a short while. And alongside that, I am just tidying up the Genestealers that we did finished off the carapace yesterday. So I'm just going to go and do a little bit more work on these, tidy up any of my overpaint around them. And then maybe if I've got the energy, I'll do a first wash on their bodies, the flesh, to make some progress on there. But yeah, bit tired tonight. Been a busy day. It's alright, let's get to it. Just, as I said, just tidying up the Genestealers. Really all this is just some white on any of the little areas I managed to get a bit of overpaint with when I was doing the carapace. So just a little bit gentle, checking where I was. Getting rid of a little bit of hair that's stuck there. Like it. It's good. I hope you've had a good, what day is it today? I think we've all had a good Friday, an enjoyable Friday evening. Quite happily do very little today. I've had a day off work. A little bit of catch up of some household chores. A most exciting day. But never mind. So what we're doing here is a bit tired, so it's just a little bit of tidy up. We jump into the next stages. She's going to do the flesh for this one, so probably not a late night for me, like most nights. Just enough to make a little progress. And as the mantra goes, an hour a day, half an hour a day. Any progress is good progress. You just keep the momentum going. Said even if it's only a little bit, eventually it'll all be done. The touch up doesn't take too much effort on this one. It does help just to get a nice even base. For the next layer, right, I think that white's starting to cure a bit, so I'm going to just put another little bit in there. Just mop that up. if you've not seen before, I tend to use a little bit of glass. Just this is an old front from a picture frame. As I heard it called the other day, a dry palette. So I use this just as a way to decant things like the Vallejo. In this case, it's just a straight Vallejo white. My current choice of white. Give up on Games Workshop. You do want to get a nice white paint. GW paints. So these might just need probably just 2 coats just to make sure all this black and red overspray is all tidied up. Sure it's all good for the next stage. While I was varnishing my Mawloc, I also took an opportunity to run a bit of work on my Screamer Killer Neurotyrant. Put a prime coat on that one. I used Sepia Fine Surface Primer, white, which is my standard go-to, my Tyranids. So that's off curing now, so that'll be available to paint tomorrow, which will start the same process as these fellas, which is carapace first, body second, claws, brains, claws next, and brains, head, etc. The details will come and follow. But yeah, so they've had a couple of coats of Sepia Fine Surface Primer. They're just curing away at the moment, so they'll be back on the board tomorrow for painting. And the Mawloc is varnished, so all he needs to do now is just finish off. Just a little bit of gloss around the mouth. Make it all look wet and disgusting. Then he'll be finally done. I can knock one off the list. I can adjust my to-do number and we make progress. One down, 170 odd still to go, but never mind, we're here for the journey, and I bet before I finish there'll be more to do. Sneaking suspicion I might buy 1 or 2 more before I finish it. I think in a couple of weeks I'm going to have a bit of a palette cleanser, if you will. I'm going to paint some Space Marines, make a bit of progress on the several accidental Space Marines that we have. We came with the kind of 8th edition starter sets, with the Leviathan box set. I'll make some progress on those fellas, mainly just the very simple troop ones, until I can figure out more of a recipe and process for them. We're painting with salamanders. I've got 2 of them done. I posted an update onto posted an update onto Insta. I think it was yesterday. Finally got some lighting rig sorted out so I can take some semi-decent photos of the finished models and in progress stuff if I want. So, as I'd finished the salamanders a couple of weeks back, I decided I might as well finally take a good photo. Anyway, those are up on Insta, and hopefully over the coming weeks and months I'll be able to post a little bit more on there about where we make progress and how we're clearing this list down, so everything that gets finished will get posted up there. A nice good look and point out where I've gone wrong. Right, that's the first run of this done. I'll clean the brush. I'm going to go over that again. Put those back into my order list. The reason I'm doing it that way is so I can make sure that I paint. The next one I paint is the oldest one. So I painted, so the paint should be nicely dry on it. Oh, wrong paintbrush. We're on this one, aren't we? Just going through again. Quick touch up. Second coat. And we should be good to go. The opportunity as well if I think that my prime coat's not been good enough, just make sure that it finishes off. One. Two. It shouldn't take too long to finish these ones off. Messy with these ones as I have been previously, so not too bad. Yeah, T-Bugger. Yeah, not doing too bad today, thanks. A little bit tired. And yourself? I trust all is well. Your dragon coming along? Good to hear. Anything planned for the weekend? It's Friday today. I'm happy it's Friday. Tomorrow is my birthday. I'm starting to feel a bit old, if the truth be told. There's not a lot I can do about that. Awesome. I haven't got a Discord set up yet, so I can't show just yet, but hey, the 14th, that's not far away. I know, 54. So I got a couple of years up on you there, mate. You know, some days I still feel 17. Other days, I tell you, I feel 60. Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from. And I've really, really grown up. I think you have. I would tend to be grown up and responsible. I think the truth is, yeah, not quite there. I look after the family. Not sure we're good there. I'm still a kid at heart. Never mind. Not let's complain too much yet. Yeah, I'll bet. I've never served. It was not something that ever really came up on for me. And I suspect they demand everything. Time, your energy, your body, your mind. Yeah, so all I'm doing here at the moment is I'm just tidying up any of the overpaint I did from the previous work on the carapace. Just ahead of the work on the flesh. Nearly done on this. Let's go with this sequence. Ooh. Yeah, I can imagine the physical training, the strains, the service. Well, I can't imagine. Genuinely, you know, it's people who do serve. You know, my utter respect. It's a thankless task. I don't think people really appreciate the commitment and sacrifice to it. In my modelling club, it's unfortunately it's kind of folded. It folded after COVID, really, or through COVID. Got a few veterans in there as well, guys from the UK services, guys who fought in Iraq, in the Gulf Wars. Yeah, broken bodies, broken minds. In fact, one of them is very active in a charity, and another one of our clubmates set up, which is called Models for Heroes, and it's basically therapy through scale modelling, so building tanks and aircraft, painting figures, what have you. It's what it tries to do is help with trauma and reintegration for armed services and blue light services as well, so you know, the police and the fire service, ambulance staff in that. It's trying to sort of help with trauma through kind of the focus of model making, so they've been really quite successful. We've had a lot of support from people. I think it was based off a US charity as well, so I don't know if there's anything in your area around that, but yeah, Models for Heroes. So it's taking all the focus and discipline of kind of scale modelling, figure painting, and it's applying it in a kind of therapeutic approach to help people deal with the trauma of combat and you know, all the horrors you see, but also integration and aligning back with, you know, friends and getting back into kind of a level of normality. Good for you. I guess you made some lifelong friends in the service. Yeah. Okay, I think. Let's push these guys off to the side a moment. And we'll come back and do a little more on that in a moment. Back to the big fella. I'm just going to finish off the gloss varnish. I've put one layer down, I'm going to put another down. So my gloss varnish of choice is Klear Floor Polish. Can't get this in the UK anymore, but I think it might still be available in the States. So it's an acrylic clear varnish, and it works really well on models. It is very shiny, very smooth. When I first told my mum that I was using this, she said, I remember doing my floors with Klear. It is great stuff. If you're doing scale model making, you apply it onto your canopies and stuff like that for aircraft. It helps protect it when you do any work on it in terms of gluing and sanding. It's a wonder stuff. It's clean it with water. Whoops, it's an awesome varnish. However, I don't have that much left. I say that, I might actually still have a bottle in my supplies that are buried away in a box somewhere. Yeah, I think it might be called Future in the US rather than Klear. I think it's something like Future, something like that. But I know it's still quite a popular popular brand in the UK. It got rebranded and they changed the composition. It wasn't quite the same, and I tried using it, but I wasn't happy with it. So I just make do with what I've got, and eventually, when it runs out, it'll run out. You may not be able to tell too much, but that's now quite shiny. Might need one more coat. We'll see how we do. But for the moment, we're done. And if that sets, this fella is finished. He's done. I finished the basing the other day. He got a matte coat varnish earlier on today as well. So he is practically done. I can knock him off. Right. Keep that tight and away off to the side. Tidy up a little bit. I'm going to go and clean my brushes. I'm going to wash my hands and change the water. Let's just get out of that acrylic out here. back and we'll do some more work on these Genestealers. We'll do at least the first coat of flesh on them, but we'll see how we do. Looks a bit knackered today, so it might just be that, and I might call it there for today. Right, that's done. Right, I'm just going to change my water, wash my hands. I'll be back in a moment. Right. Well, good work. Good luck with that, Dragon. We'll figure a way out so I can see some updates on that one. So, looking forward to seeing how you've got on with that one. But I know what you mean. You make you start on these things and you make some good progress, and it's always that kind of, oh, it's fixable, but then you get to a point where, right, I don't want to break this, I don't want to mess this up anymore. Right, I'm going to do a wash of, what is it, Games Workshop Seraphim Sepia Shade. But all the pigment stuck to the bottom of the jar again, which is not much fun. I don't know if you can tell, it's all just the big blob at the bottom, which isn't great, you know. I want to be painting pigment, not medium, on these things. Let's see what I can break up first. And I'll give it a good shake and I'll run it through the vortex mixer. Make sure it will do wonders for the camera and the microphone, but hey. Oh, ugh. Yeah, there's a lot stuck around there. Well, at least the pigment's off the bottom of the jar, but how mixed up that is altogether, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to give this a really good go. I'm going to, bear with me, I'm going to put it on the vortex for about a minute, I think. To be honest, that's about as good as it's going to get. Oh wow! Did you have any advice on painting? Yeah, absolutely cool. Right. For the wash, I want to get this over the entire body area. At the end of it, I want everything to either be red carapace or white covered in this wash. And I've just seen I've missed a bit of carapace on the bloody bases. Oh well, we can do that as we do the Screamer Killer next time. That's good news. Artistic license to let your inner artist free. The painting of Tyranids is very similar. Well, there may be some genuine high fleet colours. At the end of the day, paint whatever you want. I'm sure they'll come in useful one day. I have a wall of paints behind me, and some of them I have to admit, some of them I've never used, but most of them have had some application at least one time. They were all bought for a reason. And I do find it occasionally quite useful when I just go, oh, I need colour Y, colour X, something similar to Z. I can just look behind me and I can find something close enough to do the job. So it's look at it as an investment. Now do make sure you seal them after you open them so they don't all dry out. Very systematic with this. Actually, there's a lot more surface area on this than I thought there was going to be. Can't remember why I didn't like painting these the first time now. What I'll do is I'll do what I think is finished. I'll go through it once for each figure and then I will revisit. If I have missed anything, it'll be a bit of touch-up time. But he's getting there. I think Vallejo are really good. I've got a lot of them. I bought a lot for my scale modelling work rather than my figure work, but they're really good paints. I think they're a good range. They adhere well. They dry well. They're quite resilient, robust on the figure. once it's on, so they adhere really well as well. So yeah, I do like Vallejo. You've got their model colour range, which is a lot of what I've got, but you've got their game colour, fantasy colour ranges. It's a good old mix that they've got. For my scale modelling, I tend to use either the little Tamiya paints, so they're like they're like concrete. When you put them on a model, they adhere so well. They're really, really strong. They do not flake off, but the problem is their colour range is quite limited. Certainly when you compare it to like Vallejo or Life Colour, which is the other ones that I use. But yeah, Tamiya paints are awesome things. And then for scale modelling, if I'm doing a lot of trying to get accurate colours, I find Life Colour. They're a really good brand because they've got a really wide range to sit alongside. And then for brushwork, for my scale models, I generally use Vallejo. They kind of tidy things up. I like working with them. The good brushes. Quite a journey over from Romania to Tennessee. I hope they arrive safely. Right, I'm just popping off a moment. I'm just grabbing a beer because it's 10 to 11 on a Friday night, so why not? I'll be back in about 30 seconds. I've not used Reaper or Army Painter either, to be honest. Hello, daughter.
Hello.
Hello.
Stream.
Oh yeah. Having a chat with Mr. Teabag from Tennessee in America. He's an ex-serviceman, ex-soldier. He's painting dragons. I got a thumbs up, Teabag. My daughter who did the Fat Man Paints logo, which is scarily accurate to how I look. I've got longer hair at the moment. She was sniggering off in the background there. Mr. Teabagger says hi.
Hi.
She says hi back. She's just running off to get a toothbrush before she brushes her teeth and goes to bed. So it's about her bedtime. It was a weekend. Stay up a little later. She's only little. She's the youngest of my kids now. She is 13. She's a bit older than that. She also finds it hilarious that her old man does this. Paints and streams. Despite the fact that they're the generation of YouTubers. all the things they watch. It's not TV anymore. It's all YouTube and TikTok and such like. That's cultural icons these days. I thought I'd be done in like 10 minutes with this wash for these 10 figures. It seems to be going to be a bit longer doing it than I thought. Mine. Right, daughter.
Good night.
That's what you can see in the morning pedal.
Yes, you can see the morning pedal.
Love you too, sweet. Right, she's off to bed. Time to swear. Some surface tension in there. I've got a little bubble. There we go, it's popped. Right. God, this fella. It's a lot of body, for want of a better word. I need to think about a bigger brush. No quick wins, eh? Let's earn it. This one's nearly done, I think. Rest of the back done. Oh no, we've got the inside arm on this side to do next. Just miss that. Bit of paint. still missed more. Right. See, that's taking way longer than I planned. That's a bit. Right, what time is it? It's about 11 at night. I think I've maybe got half an hour left in me this evening. How's this coming along? It's drying up nicely. So the last thing I'll do tonight is take my wooden handling thing off, and then I can mark him as absolutely finished. He's done. And I can mark that off. One down. $172 to do of the Tyranids. I hate to think I'm not adding anything else into that mix until they're done. Then we'll look at what's next on the agenda. I should zoom in the camera a little bit so you can actually see what I'm doing, and rather than having a little dot on my blurred screen. Take me a minute to do so. At least you can see my rubbish painting in full swing. Let me just do this leg. Does this computer work? Right, let's see if that's any better. What's the subject? What's the mini? So much mini at 75mm scale, but what's the figure? Excellent. Right. Giants, ogres, great big golems, lovely things to paint and model. Good luck with him. I hope he turns up safe and sound. I hope it's all been packaged quite safely for his Atlantic trip. I do think I need to be a little more systematic with what I'm doing on the painting. It's a bit haphazard at the moment. There is a guy who runs his own Patreon. I can't remember the guy's name at the moment, but he's gone through and made all of the monsters from Dungeons and Dragons, from the monster manual, from the folio, and they're all free. You can download his STL files free if you want, or you can sign up for a really minimum amount and they're in a nice set of folders and all pre-supported. It's only like $1 a month or something like that, $2 a month. So if you fancy any of that old school Dungeons and Dragons aesthetic, they're all there. He did them all. Not quite sure what happened when Hasbro took over and started implementing some IPO restrictions on things. I don't know how that affected him, but yeah, he's awesome. I mean, sort of exactly look like the sketches you see in the Fiend folio, the Monster Manual 1 and 2. Spent a lot of time going through it. So if you are thinking of getting a resin printer, which you mentioned the other day, and you want to build your D&D figures, because once you get the STLs, there's no reason you can't scale them up to be whatever scale you need them to be. You want them bigger, you want them this big, rather than just little kind of 28mm, 32mm size. Nothing stopping you. Oh, awesome. Have you gone for the Vallejo Saturn? Is that what you went for, or have you gone for something different? So give me a moment. Let me just shoot off to the side and I'll link in this guy's Patreon. One sec. Hey, there we go. I just popped his Reddit profile into chat, so he will. If you follow that through and look at some of his posts, you'll find a link to his Patreon. Find a link to where you can download all those files for free. So it's yeah, all that old school D&D at your fingertips. I know the Saturn's got a really large print area. It's a really good printer. And with the 8K and that print area, you're going to get some really great results. Do your research. Make sure you have a good look at how to handle resin. It's nasty stuff. But it opens up a whole world of opportunity. And for the modeler, for the gamer, for the figure painter, buy the STL once, print it 1,000 times, make a mistake, print a new model, start again. Excellent. Yeah, when I got my printer, I spent a lot of time. Well, once I ordered it before it turned up, having a good look about what I needed to get, kind of tools to make sure that I was good with it. Checked on safety. Checked on supporting files, how you're going through it, the software you needed, jukebox or various slices and things you could use. It's exciting. It's another hobby within the hobby. There's always something else. Seeing a yeah, absolutely, that's exactly what it is. Print off a whole bunch of the models, paint them all differently, different scales, just scale the file if you want a really big version, print it small if you want to do some micro work. Absolutely. In terms of sort of saving money on prints, you know, the term printed Warhammer's a pretty big thing these days because the cost of the Games Workshop plastic figures are quite horrific, really. You know, they're not priced on the amount of plastic in there. They are priced to a certain degree on recouping costs, but if you think about all the people who play, they really do screw the customer quite a bit on this. Well, there's some absolutely amazing 3D artists out there who create very similar kind of figures, or even absolute matches, almost piece for piece. So people, you know, fancy a new army. It's just, if they've got a printer, it's just so much more economical to go and buy a whole bunch of STL files, print off the army, see how it goes. I know Games Workshop themselves have become a bit savvy to this. They've started banning 3D printed figures from their stores, from their competitions. It's got to be Games Workshop figure. Yeah, sure. Mixed feelings about. Yeah, for that as well. Good night, wife.
Good night.
Love you too.
Love you.
Just Joe up now.
Joe! Bed.
I'll be left alone in a minute. Oh, sorry, yeah, I just went mute for a moment there. I was just chatting to family for a moment, just making sure they're all on the way to bed. And they are. So it's almost just me, so I might call it quits in a minute as well. And I can enjoy my birthday tomorrow. Not being too tired. Yeah, Games Workshop stuff is expensive. I know in the UK we've got a whole bunch of kind of hobby resellers that make it somewhat affordable, but still it's a pricey hobby to go through. I'm pretty sure they price them almost based on how they do on their table rather than, you know, how much plastic's in it or design effort. Yes, the wife, the son, the daughter. I love them all dearly. Genuinely. Not sure they love me. Certainly not the kids, they're at that kind of rebellious age where they do not like being told that it is time for bed because you've got shit to do in the morning. Hey, I think as kids, that sums up kids, sure. I was exactly the same when I was a lad at their age. I'm sure my wife was equally as bolshy. Tyranids now is I missed some of the details on the bases because I forgot these things were slotter base. And that bit there should be carapace. So I need to come back to that. When I do the Screamer Killer and the Neurotyrant, I'll need to repeat the steps on these little bits. So there's probably 4 or 5 of these little fuckers who've got that on, so I'll need to go in and do that. Never mind. A job for Sunday. No, absolutely. Dungeons and Dragons is tabletop role playing is awesome stuff. I know my lads in an online game, so they don't need the miniatures. It's just pure imagination, which is excellent. But certainly when you're playing tabletop with friends, there's nothing. It doesn't need to be official. Players don't care. There's only a handful of you playing however and wherever you want. Right. When I finish this one, I'm going to call it quits for tonight. I'm a bit tired. Only a short stream. Maybe back tomorrow. Depending how I'm feeling towards the end of my birthday day. For a nice steak with the family. Find such a thing in the UK. Best dates I've ever had have been in the US. Teabagger, I have to say. And a shadow of a doubt. There's some absolutely wonderful steaks over there. I've been over through work. You guys know how to cook him. I do enjoy cooking. We've got some nice recipes for various bits and pieces, but it's a time challenge. I can't. By the time you get back from work, you don't have time to really sit down and do a proper meal. Kind of everybody just wants to eat, so kind of during the week my wife cooks. I cook at the weekends, so sometimes on a Saturday I've got a bit more time to get something sorted and done. It's not always that easy. Right, 5 of them done. 5 for another night. So that's my paint. I'll clean up my brush in a minute. Right, short session this evening. But thanks for joining me, Teabag. I look forward to seeing this drone of yours at some point. It'll be looking pretty awesome, I guess. Good luck on the delivery from Romania. It's quite a trek that ogre's taking to get to you. Anyway, good night, everyone. I'm going to be done. Have a great night, mate. Take care. I'll see you next time.